All right, let's dive into a story about heroes, monsters, and a mystery that kicks off right when you think the adventure is over. We're talking about a group called the Misfortunate Bastards, and their tale? Waters below, shadows above.
So, picture this. Our heroes, the Misfortunate Bastards, have just pulled off an incredible rescue. They've found a group of missing orphans, they've fought their way through who knows what, and now, finally, all that's left is to get these kids to the safety of the local church. The hard part's over.
Or so they thought, because fate, as it turns out, had something else in store for them. Their biggest challenge wasn't the one they just conquered. Nope, it was waiting for them, silent and patient, just a little further down the road.
And that chilling encounter brings us to the first part of our story, Shadow of the Beholder, an abduction that comes out of absolutely nowhere.
I mean, just try to imagine it. You're exhausted, but you feel good. You're walking these kids down a slick, wet street, and then this thing just materializes out of the shadows. A beholder, one of the most alien, terrifying creatures you could possibly imagine. Its giant eye just glowing with this unnatural purpose.
And this whole confrontation, it was over in a flash. The creature wasn't there for a brawl, it wanted one specific thing, a boy named Terren. The heroes, of course, move to protect him, but before anyone can even swing a sword, one of their own, Tadrel, gets zapped by a sleep ray. And just like that, he's out cold. The fight was done before it ever started. The beholder just took the kid.
And this is where it gets really weird. This monster, this nightmare aberration, leaves something behind. 55 platinum pieces. It didn't drop them, it didn't steal anything, it left them as, what, compensation? This wasn't an attack, it was a transaction. And somehow, that's a whole lot creepier.
So this completely bizarre exchange, it pushes us right into the next piece of this puzzle. The child and the coin, where things only get stranger.
So the bastards, totally shaken, get the rest of the orphans to the church. But the priests there, they have no answers. They just look nervous and start praying. So then the heroes head over to the orphanage. And who do they find just sitting there? Terren. The kid is perfectly fine. He doesn't remember a thing about the beholder. He's not scared. It's like the whole terrifying event was just wiped from his memory.
So now they're left with a kid who was kidnapped but wasn't, and a payment for a crime that apparently never even happened? As the story puts it, there was a sense that something far deeper was now stirring beneath the city of Cauldron. This wasn't random. No way. This was a message.
With this creepy, unsolved mystery just hanging in the air, the story shifts gears. The heroes get a new mission. And on the surface, this next job seems like a total cakewalk. We're calling this part the Goblin Contract.
Okay, so the city's in a panic over some goblin raids. The officials need problem solvers, and for adventurers like the Misfortunate Bastards, this is routine. Find the goblins, stop the raids, get paid. Simple, right? Probably a welcome change of pace from, a mind-reading, multi-eyed, floating monster.
Well, of course it wasn't that simple. They spend 2 whole nights on patrol and find nothing. Zip. The streets are dead quiet, no goblins, no tracks, not a single clue. It's like the raids aren't even real. The only break they get comes on day 3, and it's not from their own investigation. It's a cryptic tip from a mysterious woman connected to the church. And that tip? It points them to a very specific, very suspicious location, which kicks off our next section. Secrets of the Bathhouse. Things are about to get heated.
So they follow the lead to this bathhouse run by a grumpy, one-eyed dwarf named Orak. And the moment they walk in, the bastards can tell something is just off. The whole place feels like a front for something else.
Orak plays dumb, right? Goblins? Raids? No idea what you're talking about. But the bastards aren't buying it for a second. They start searching, and it doesn't take long to find what he's hiding. A secret door. The second they discover it, his entire act just shatters.
And that's when all hell breaks loose. Orak just explodes in a rage and attacks. Then, bam, 4 of his buddies jump out from the shadows. And as the fight gets going, the bastards realize these aren't just thugs. They're wererats, vicious shapeshifters. But the biggest shock comes mid-fight, when Orak is suddenly cut down by one of his own allies. Was it an accident, or was he silenced? They don't have time to figure it out. So the fight's over. The place is a wreck, bodies are on the floor, and now the bastards can finally figure out what was so important to hide. And that brings us to our last section, Waters below, darkness ahead. Behind that secret door, they find two things. First, a pretty nice piece of loot, a magical decanter that creates an endless supply of pure water. But the second find is what really matters. It's a spiral staircase, and it's just plunging down, deep into the suffocating darkness under the city.
And suddenly, it all makes sense. The goblin raids that never happened, the wererats, the whole bathhouse operation, it was all just a cover. This place wasn't the lair, it was just the front door. The real problem, whatever it is down below.
And so we're left right there with the misfortunate bastards, just staring down into this abyss. They've peeled back one layer of corruption, only to find something much deeper and darker underneath. It leaves you wondering, how does a calculating beholder in the sky connect to a nest of wererats in the sewers? And what other shadows are just waiting for them down there in the dark?